What's going on, fight fans? This is the Encyclopedia George Kennebrew here for MMA Mayhem TV. This interview is being brought to you by NorthAtlantaHRT.com. I am here at Bellator 149 in Houston, Texas, and I am standing here with one of the best to ever do it, ladies and gentlemen. One of the most tenacious, one of the most scrappiest fighters to ever grace an MMA cage. This is the one and only Josh, the Punk Thomson. Don't be surprised. You know that's what it is.
Man, who's awesome and has two thumbs? This guy.
Well, Josh, it's good to see you, and you're here at Bellator tonight. Just give me your overall thoughts of the fights, including the co-main and the main event itself.
Look, I thought the fights were entertaining. Emmanuel Sanchez is an amazing fighter, and that was one of probably the best fights I've ever seen. And I got to tell you, it was a great fight. As far as the co-main events, Kimbo and Dada, I mean, look, we never said anything about them being the best fighters, but what we did say is they definitely brought their A game, their idea of an A game, and it was great. These guys came out and threw it all on the table. You saw, Dada was trying to keep it on the feet the whole time, and honestly, no one thought this fight was going to go to the second round. People were talking and grimacing about it being a work. And look, it showed tonight. No, Dada went out on a stretcher. He wanted this that bad. And that says a lot about him and his character. And that's a real fighter. What people have to understand is that real fighters are made like that, and they don't want to lose. They're not going to give up. I mean, he tried to stay up on his feet the whole time till the bitter end, and man, I give him props, and to me, that's a true fighter.
Now, you got a big contest coming up here soon against one Iron Mike Chandler, as they call him, and this is one the fans definitely want to see because you guys are two men that go in there and go for it all, as they like to say in the sport. So how is your training coming, first of all, and do you have a specific intention on slowing Michael Chandler down, so to speak?
I mean, no, realistically, look, he's very talented. He's very tough. We've seen him, fight some of the best guys in the world, and beat them, and so he's also the former Bellator champion. And look, I expect him to come out on his A game, which I think he will. I'm definitely someone that sparks his interest, that will get him up every morning, and he will train, and he will train for me. He'll give it his best, and I just feel like these are the type of fights that I came here to do. I feel like Bellator signed me to fight these guys. He wants me to fight Chandler. Bellator wants me to fight these. They want me to help try and move the needle. And Chandler and I make sense. Benson and I make sense. And these are the fights that the fans are going to actually tune in and watch, and and then we're going to move the needle.
Now, lastly, you talk about Chandler and being on his A game, but you're an experienced guy. You've been a champion before. You know what it's like to step in to these big fights. And Chandler's pretty experienced himself. But do you feel like you, just from being in the sport just a little bit longer than Chandler, do you think that maybe give you that one-up or that edge possibly on Chandler, just in case in adverse situations you know what to do there?
Look, you just called me old.
That's experience.
Yeah, that's old. Anyway, no. Realistically, look, Chandler he had told a story about 2 weeks ago. We were doing some media stuff, and he had told a story about, I'm heading back as a freshman in the Mizzou bus from a wrestling duel. He's like, and I'm sitting there watching Gilbert Melendez, Josh Thomson too in Strikeforce. He's like, well, you have to remember, he hadn't even started fighting MMA yet, and I was already a world champion, and I was already 20 fights deep, and so and that's not even counting the fights that I had before even MMA media existed that don't even have it recorded, So look, I've probably forgot more than he's learned, but that has nothing to do with it when it comes down to the actual fight. He's very talented, man. The kid's good. He's explosive. He's got power in his hands. He's a great wrestler. And what I overall like about him, and to be honest, and I'm being very honest and very truthful about this, is that there's no animosity. And the fights that I have no animosity with someone, there's no type of grudge match, those end up being my best fights. And not just as far as me winning, but those end up being the best fights for the fans. Gilbert and I were always cool with each other. You know, we never had disrespected each other, but you know what? We knew what kind of fight it was going to be. And like I said, I'm planning on Chandler being my Gilbert Melendez for Bellator. You know, I mean, if we're going to end up fighting, we may end up fighting 2 or 3 more times. You never know, you know, and this could be that next rivalry, that next, you know, trilogy that basically, you know, ends up being number 2 to me and Gilbert.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are definitely looking forward to that fight, and I can guarantee you, and so can he, it's going to be a classic and one that people will talk about for a long, long time. Ladies and gentlemen, this interview has been brought to you by NorthAtlantaHRT.com. I am the Encyclopedia. That's the Punk, Josh Thomson, page turn. We out.